Boogie, let's go ahead and get into our next topic or next segment of the podcast, and that's going to be our top 5 news stories for the week. This is the meat and potatoes of the podcast. This is where we actually dive in, similar to what we just did with the quick hits. We dive into the stories and we give you the news, and then we give you our opinion on those stories as well. So let's go ahead and start off things here. But before we do, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Almost forgot. We have to shout out our homies over at the New Challenger Discord. So let's go ahead and take it there. If I can only take it there. Here we go. All right. So if you want to get good at your favorite fighting game with your favorite fighting game character or team of characters, go to newchallenger.gg, join the Discord, and become part of a ever-growing community filled with people that want to do nothing but help you build that solid foundation so that you can take your skills online or to a tournament and do your very best. Supporting all of the most popular fighting games that are on the market and will be on the market very soon. Soul Calibur 6, anybody? The New Challenger Discord will help you build that solid foundation and get you ready for whatever situation you want to get into. Shout out to Mr. Vinegar. Actually, the Discord just celebrated its 2-year anniversary. So happy 2-year anniversary to the Discord. We are super proud of you guys. Thank you. And they've been shouting us out on all of their live events and tournaments since they've been sponsoring us. So big shout out to those guys. Thank you all so much. We really do appreciate it. So now let's go ahead and get into the top 5 news stories, starting with Sony, who's bringing back the greatest hits to retailers. And this is actually pretty interesting. What did you think when you saw this?
I was pleasantly surprised. I'm happy about it. I'm really happy about it. It's something that's long overdue this generation. It's long overdue this generation.
I agree.
I think so. I think it's long overdue this generation. Something that's sorely missed. I just hope that we get some copycats out there. I know one group. I know one company that won't copy, but hopefully another one will. But yeah, I like it. I like the initial lineup. I mean, they have some seriously good games in their initial lineup. I mean, Street Fighter V is in there. Yeah. Yakuza 0 is in there. They've got Drive Club is crap. The Last of Us, Uncharted 4,
Yakuza,
Little Big Planet 3, Doom. Oh yeah, Yakuza. I mean, they've got some heavy hitters in there. It's pretty cool that it's out there, and it's going to be retail. It's going to be the red boxes in retail, or if you go into the PlayStation Store, that'll be under a red PlayStation Hits banner.
Yep. So yeah, the red label. That's your sale, and the $20 each.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty decent price for some of these games, especially the Yakuza games. Man, $20 for all that content. That's a lot of content for $20.
Yeah, Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami.
Kiwami is the remake of the first game.
The original, right?
Yeah, the original. Yep. Yeah, so that's actually pretty good. And seeing as how we're gonna rip into Sony a little bit later on in the podcast, I feel like it was okay. It was pretty good to get this story out first. So so good on you. We'll be back to visit you very soon, so watch out there, Sony. But next, we got to talk about GameStop. Power to the players. That's
a lie.
Yeah, there's no power in the players because apparently GameStop is looking to sell themselves. They want to get out.
Yeah, this kind of worries me, and I'll tell you why. Let's just go through this first a little bit. Okay. So basically, Assaulted Reuters, which is a newswire, like a serious newswire, like think AP. They broke a story saying that GameStop was in talks for a possible buyout, and GameStop came back. It's like, yeah, not quite. We're just throwing out feelers, seeing if there are people interested. And apparently, they're looking to sell themselves to a private equity firm. Now this is where this worries me. This is the same thing Toys R Us did. So what these private equity firms do is they finance these buyouts. They go to the bank, they get whatever the price is. Say they buy it for $10 billion. They borrow that entire $10 billion from the banks to buy, quote unquote, buy the company, and then they saddle the company with that debt.
Oof.
And what they do is they pull out profits while they make the company pay off the debt. And if there's any type of downturn in that company's market, the company fails. That's what happened to Toys R Us.
Okay.
They were bought out by a private equity firm. They were saddled with a butt ton of debt, and it just crushed them. So what happened is Toys R Us didn't have the money to modernize their stores because they were so busy trying to pay off this private equity debt. And it cost them their lives, essentially. And it's the same type of thing that will wind up happening to GameStop, because GameStop is getting killed not because people don't play games anymore. GameStop is getting killed because people buy their games digitally.
Yeah.
They don't go into the store and buy physical copies anymore. They don't sell them back. And it doesn't help that GameStop, people feel cheated by GameStop. When you go buy a game for $60, you take it in there a week later and they offer you $25 and they put it on the shelf for $50.
Yeah.
So people revolt to that. And
yeah. And that sucks, man, because I actually worked for GameStop for a number of years, and I always hated telling somebody that a game that they bought last week for full price is now only worth like less than half than that. I always felt bad telling people that, dude. Right.
It'd be sad to see them go if they sold out. I would give them 4 to 5 years, if that, unless they have some super CEO that's able to come up with something. Because GameStop has tried to lie. They try adding cell phones. They try adding collectibles. They try adding. They be
selling clothes in there. They doing everything.
They're trying to do anything they can to try to prop up the sales, and it's just not working.
Yeah,
and I mean, they're just losing out to the digital market. I mean, they stopped selling PC games a long time ago because Steam and digital games just ate their lunch, and consoles are going that direction as well. I mean, I'm a culprit because I buy all my games digitally. The last game I bought physically was Splatoon 2, and
I just bought this last week. It is the physical copy of the Sega Genesis Classics collection. So I went to GameStop to get it too. So I'm still one that will go out and get a physical copy. I'm a culprit of that.
And the last game before Splatoon 2 was Tomb Raider, the remake. Not the Rise of the Tomb Raider, but the original. The original remake Tomb Raider, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people, and I know tons. It's the convenience is just much better. I mean, remember the days of sitting outside GameStop to get the Call of Duty and running home to install and all of that stuff. Why am I going to do? I buy a game, like I just pre-ordered Red Dead. It installed, and it's going to wait for so at midnight when Red Dead releases, I'm going to get like a 100 meg update, and I'm going to be able to play within 2 minutes.
It's pretty. Sounds good, man.
Yeah. So
feels good, man.
the convenience is more. It's just great. I don't care about selling the games back, especially when you're going to give me half of what I paid for it.
Yeah. So now the question is, what's going to happen to all of that, all of those used games and used game accessories? Because technically that's not something that they can like put back onto the publisher or anything like that. Like, no, that's their stuff.
Well, what happened? Well, this is really something that'll be way down the line. But what actually happened if they wind up going out of business and going bankrupt? They'll sell off the inventory for pennies, pennies on a dollar. You know, it'd be a feeding frenzy because everybody would go in there to buy games that they don't want or need, that they can go there today and buy for probably the same price. But you know how people get, right?
Yeah, that's just the thing, because GameStop has actually been known for trashing like hundreds of like old games. Like you have like prominent YouTubers that make a living dumpster diving GameStop and just getting old games. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
then they sell them elsewhere.
Yeah, I would imagine what'll happen is either there'll be a company that's going to buy them and post them up on eBay or something, or the games that get distributed. either in the trash, people will buy them, or companies will buy them. They get shipped to other places in the within the region that can use the game.
Yeah.
You know, so it'd be. But I just hope they don't have to sell, because I hate these private equity firms, because they just saddle these companies with debt and run them into the ground.
Yeah, and you know, I am not you know, a hater of GameStop. You know, for them to be a gaming, like, you know, a source for physical video games, I wouldn't like to see them like go out of business either.
Right.
You know, they definitely need to change their business model.
They need to figure something out.
That needs to change.
Yeah, because even though I haven't used them in a while, actually I take that back, because I think I told you I had a couple of old games sitting around, and I sold them for Nintendo eShop credit, and that was helpful. I wound up getting my daughter Mario Kart for it.
Okay,
paid like $2. I wound up having to pay $2 or $3 out of my pocket for it, but I mean, there's a place for them. They just need to figure out what that place is.
Yeah. I agree. So let's go ahead and move on to the next story. We're on Nintendo now, and this is actually really important because we brought up in a earlier podcast episode that hackers had found an unfixable exploit in the Nintendo Switch. Was it in its firmware?
Yeah, it's in the firmware. Yeah. It's on the ROM. Yeah.
It's an unfixable exploit that allows you to, you know, get into the back door of the Nintendo Switch and essentially do whatever you want with it.
Right.
But what has been happening now is Nintendo has been banning Switch consoles with pirated games.
Yeah.
And so go ahead.
Yeah, so this Nintendo apparently is proficient at weeding out these guys, and apparently this is from the DS days. They have a system that basically any software that you put on your Switch has a certificate, a coded certificate that Nintendo Online looks for, and pirated games don't have that certificate, or if they have it, it's incorrect. And Nintendo's able to sniff that out, and they are dropping the ban hammer for sure. I mean, if you're a pirate and you're on a Switch, you're going to be playing single player games only. There's any game that has an online component for Nintendo Online, it's not going to work. And again, they're banning the consoles. So you're going to have to buy a new Switch if you decide to try to go back and play Super Smash when it comes out.
Yeah, or Mario Kart or Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, or Mario Party or whatever else is out. Yeah, so I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, because people are pirating software, they're obviously not paying for it, and I'm not a big fan of piracy. So Nintendo's fierce in protecting their IP. Now,
fierce is an understatement.
Another story that's going along with this is that some of these pirates have figured out a way to change their image to adult type content image. And if you play. They put porn images for their avatar.
Their avatar icon or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's happening is, if you play, apparently in Mario Odyssey, there's the balloons that you can leave.
Oh, and God.
Those balloons have porn images on them. So that's becoming a problem in Mario Odyssey.
Man.
Trolls are leaving balloons all over Mario Odyssey with adult content on it, which is disturbing to some parents. And
of course.
Come on, seriously, it's Mario. You gonna do that to Mario? Come on.
Oh man, how many 5-year-olds just saw like their first fake tit?
Right, that's horrible. I just don't understand. Because I know they're doing it for the lulz.
Of course.
I mean,
that's
somewhere else.
Yeah, that's harsh, man. That's a little harsh. Little Timmy didn't need to see that freaking latex, man. Come on, dog.
No, not at all. You know, he jumps up on the cliff. Look at the balloon, and it's a big long piece of junk.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm thinking they showing women. They're most definitely showing dudes.
You know they are. You know that's what they're doing.
Oh God, yeah. Poor Timmy.
Scarred for life.
Yep.